Yeah, bro. I was hanging out with my buddy. This was like I was just about to turn 30, and I was trying to figure out like what did I wanted to do for the rest of my life. I was like, okay, what's my purpose, you know? And then my boy's just like, hey, Kcho, we found this nudist colony for sale, off market deal, seller financed, and I was like, I don't know, man. That's not my vibe, really. I'm not a nudist, you know? And he's like, bro, we can throw the next Burning Man here, you know? And so I went there. It was like 100 old naked people with masks on. And I was like, what? Like, this is the craziest thing I've ever experienced. Like, all these naked people with masks on. And I was like, if there's a project that is crazy enough for me, this is it.
All right, guys, welcome to another episode of The Report. Today, I got someone who just bought a nudist colony not too long ago, and he's repositioning it. We're going to talk festivals, glamping retreat, Joshua tree, Burning Man. I cannot wait for this conversation. I got Kevin Cho, K-Cho in the house. What's up, Kevin Cho?
What's going on, baby? Happy to be here, brother.
Oh, man, stoked for this conversation, dude. This is going to be a unique one. I cannot wait, brother. I cannot wait. But first things first, dude. We're going to get into the nudist colony and this acquisition on the back end of the episode, so make sure you guys stick around to the back end. But first things first, man. I know festival season just ended. I'm curious, what are your top 2 or 3 favorite festivals in the world right now?
Yeah, I would say top 3. Obviously Burning Man. It's a most recent, endeavor for me because right when I bought the property, I was like, man, I gotta be about the Burning Man life.
Mm.
You know what I mean? So
Give us a couple more.
yeah, and then Tomorrowland and Ultra, I would say top 3 biggest
Damn,
game
I've
changers.
never been to the 3 of them, but I feel like I got to do it at some point in my life.
100%.
So maybe I'll make it happen sometime next year. We'll see. What time of year is Tomorrowland? Is that it's still in Belgium
Tomorrowland is actually happening like right now.
right now?
Our boy
Really?
Tiny is there.
Damn, you're
There.
not there, dude?
Yeah, I'm not there.
What's up, dude?
I got invited. Yeah.
So let's start there. Break down Tomorrowland. Belgium, Brussels. I heard it moved though? No.
Yeah, yeah. They try to do Tomorrow World in Atlanta, in the U.S.,
It
but
wouldn't be the same.
the issues with these bigger festivals are, the economy of scale is tough with festivals. It costs a lot of money, right? So, yeah, the bigger ones like Insomniac, Live Nation, all these guys, they control the marketplace.
Okay.
You know what I mean? They have a bottleneck on it. Right?
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. So where's Tomorrowland now?
I think it's in Belgium still, right?
Tomorrowland.
Yeah.
It isn't still in Belgium.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
still in Belgium, yeah.
I thought it had moved, but maybe I just saw something. Okay. Maybe it's a different festival. So what's like the whole thing with Tomorrowland?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, for me, like, I used to be in the nightlife scene heavy, right? So I was promoting bottle service, doing a club life and all that stuff. And then I shifted out into like the festival world because of the culture, the community, right? It's so powerful because, you're connecting with so many different people all over the world. It's not just like your local San Diego party animals. You're connecting with people from different walks of life. You know what I mean? So much power, so much community and culture there, and that's kind of like what inspired me to kind of get the property as well. Is the power and the potency of the music festival live. You know what I mean?
So regarding Tomorrowland, I can't wait to dive into your property, your nudist colony on the back end. So make sure you guys stick around to the end because we're going to do a deep dive there. But regarding Tomorrowland, what's Tomorrowland all about? Like explain what it's like for the audience that's never been.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's honestly it's one of the craziest productions, right? They spend millions and millions of dollars on just the aesthetics, the ambiance, the terrain, the fireworks, and like the whole experience is absolutely second to none. You know what I mean? Versus a lot of the festivals in the United States are just like lights and stages and super basic, right? So Tomorrowland, it being a European festival, they have just more culture and a more of a special touch to it. From my opinion, other people might think differently, right? But yeah, I think they're really the trendsetters of music.
How many people are we talking?
I would six figures,
Mm,
6 figures
damn,
easy. You know what I mean?
that's crazy,
So
man. And this is like a week long thing or just a couple days?
yeah, yeah, camp out,
7 days?
yeah. I mean, similar to Burning Man.
Damn.
You're if it rains, it pours, and you're still camping out. You're embracing it, and enjoying the festival.
I've only been to one festival internationally, and it was when I was in Budapest, Hungary. I was just kind of traveling. It was a solo trip a few years back, and love Budapest. Been there a couple times now, but there happened to be Ziget Festival in town, And so I just went for like got a day pass and went and saw some artists. Post Malone was performing that night, so that was kind of cool. But I could see. I mean, a lot of people were camping out. I could see the vibe was really dope. But Tomorrowland, I mean, I've seen videos. It just looks incredible with all the lights and the production and all the music. Sort of banger like lineup of artists and all that sort of stuff. But that's cool, man. And then you mentioned Ultra,
Yeah,
and that Ultra's in Miami, right?
yeah, yeah,
I've never done Ultra before.
yeah.
Tell me about Ultra.
Ultra, I mean, it's kind of similar to Cross here in San Diego, right? It's like in the epicenter of downtown Miami, you know? So I feel like something like that, the permitting, the red tape and everything to get a music festival in, areas where children are and all that stuff, it costs a lot of money and it's very bureaucratic. You know what I mean? So you got to shake hands with the right people in the city and kind of work your way around to actually even host a festival in the city.
Oh, I can imagine.
You know what I mean?
I can imagine. It's a lot of music, a lot of noise, bringing a lot of people. And so Ultra, walk me through that. Is that a 2-day thing? Is it a weekend thing?
Yeah, full weekend.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday?
I think 3 to 4 days, and
Yeah.
yeah, it's a journey.
It's a
It's a
journey.
journey. I mean, it's Miami. You know what I mean? You got Art Basel, Miami Music Week. It's crazy. It's nuts over there. You know what I mean? So we kind of have it pretty easy out here with Cross Music Festival, and it's like 1 or 2 days, and we're just chilling. So it's a different wavelength over there.
Mm. What is it like doing like a whole week at a festival? Because even Cross here, like I've done that a handful of times. It's 2 days, but like sometimes I only go for 1 day. And I'm like, that's enough for me. I'm good. I'm good for a while. But like, what is it like for a whole week?
Burning Man, I've done 7 days. You know what I mean?
Yeah. How many times have
And
you done Burning Man?
I've done Burning Man 3 times.
Damn.
Yeah. So I'm kind of fresh on the scene because I used to be in the nightlife scene. So I didn't even know what Burning Man was because I was just in this different world.
For
But
the folks that don't know,
yeah, Burning Man
what is Burning Man?
yeah, it's a collection of experiences through art, music, community. It's a level of like reciprocity. Everyone's giving, freedom of expression. So it's really like it's a kind of a simulated utopia where everyone's just giving things, non-commodification, no exchanging of money or things, right? So it's a really magical place. It's insane.
So what's the whole like idea of Burning Man? Because I know it's out in the desert. What desert is it at?
Black Rock City, Nevada.
Black Rock City, Nevada. Okay. And then everyone drives in, and some people fly in, but for the most part, people camp out or they stay in RVs. Correct?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, you can bootleg it, right? If you're a first timer, you're balling on a budget. You can go there and literally just go to different camps and just get free shit. You know what I mean? Like literally. And then if you're balling and you want to have it set it and forget it, you drop $10,000-$15,000 and you can have a camp set up everything for you, strike it down, and then you just leave.
Talk about the ecosystem there, because I believe this is unique. But it's like a bartering money system out there, right? So you're not using any cash or credit cards, correct?
Yes. Yeah,
How does that
exactly.
work? Break it down.
Yeah, so you come to the Playa
Okay.
bringing a gift,
Okay.
right? And it can be any gift. It could be coconuts, it could be a massage.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And what have you brought before?
I'm a pretty good with my hands, you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Okay.
So I come in, I see people stressed out, dilapidated, and I'm like, I have some skills in the art of massage and like Tai Chi and stuff. So like I come in and do a little reset for people
Damn.
and they love it.
Yeah.
They love it,
That's a good one right there.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So you show up, you bring some sort of gift, and is this supposed to be like an evergreen gift, like you're talking about, or it could just be as simple as like, hey, I'm bringing like
Yeah, I mean, bro, like it can be like an affirmation. It can be like, I love you. It's
Got it.
really like the sky's the limit with
Got
that,
it. So everyone's got a gift they can exchange at any time.
Yep.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I like
And
it.
you're, if you're more financially stable, you're bringing, more like some steaks, some filet mignon or something
Filet
like that.
mignon. Okay.
I remember I was eating pho, like it was the middle of the stage. It was like the sun was coming up. This guy was literally cooking up the pho on
Damn.
the side, and we're just drinking hot pho broth
Damn.
while the sun's coming up. And I'm like, this is
Damn. That's
crazy.
insane. That's insane. What's the craziest thing you've ever seen someone bring?
Man, dude, it's I've seen this guy literally just hand out cash, just $100 bills. And I was just like, I think this guy handed out like $100K in cash. I'm like, wow, dude,
Damn.
like you just paid everyone's rent for the year.
So okay, so you show up. It's a whole week. And I've seen like the videos. I mean, the sunrise sets are like insane, but like a few days in, people are like pretty dusted up. Is it hard to breathe in there with all the dust and the dirt?
You know what? The dust is actually it's alkaline. So it's actually good for you to a certain degree, like for your skin and all that stuff. There's a certain level of like ionization. So like the pH levels are actually good for your skin. You know what I mean? So I think that's why they chose the space. It's like an energy vortex. And yeah, you just gotta pace yourself, you know? Like you gotta be around a good community. I mean, you know, if you're drinking a lot, it's gonna be hard to sustain that. You know, if you're microdosing, you know, that's sustainable energy that, you know, you can kind of carry. It doesn't take you down. You don't have a crash with mushrooms and microdosing that I
Yeah,
prefer, you know.
sure.
I'm a
It's
big
more sustainable long term, especially
yes.
like in a setting like that. I
Yeah.
can imagine.
Yeah.
And then talk about the music, and then like people like within. What do you guys call it? It's the city. What's it called?
Black Rock City.
Black Rock City.
Yeah.
But the area called? Like,
Nevada. It's in Nevada.
no,
Reno.
not like the location, but you said it. You said it.
Oh, it's
Like
like energy vortex. Like
and no. Before that, it was something. Yeah. Everyone's inside this thing. What do you guys refer to it as?
it's like oh yeah, it's I mean it's like a simulate it's like a conscious simulation to a
Okay,
degree.
so you're in here, and everyone's like, how big is this? Just for like context.
Yeah, 80,000 people, and it's
Is it
everyone,
like miles and miles, or like it's all pretty small?
it's a couple miles,
Couple miles.
big
Okay.
stretch.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's set up like a clock, and they have a clock system where everything's like catered to the clock. So if you want to look for a space, you're like, I'm at 9:45 in A, and then you can look on the map, and yeah, so
That's pretty dope.
but like if you're a first timer, it's kind of hard to find, you know, because you're like,
So how do you know where 6 o'clock is versus 12 o'clock?
yeah, so you're you know, it's the direction. So you go by the clock, you're going in this like loop, and then they have street signs. So you just follow the street signs. If you're going a direction of letters, then you just follow the letters going up and down, and then the numbers go this way, right?
Mm.
So it's
And so A would be closest to the center.
the A, yeah, exactly.
Got it.
Yeah.
And so where's the camping? Like, where do people sleep? Is it
Everywhere.
like towards the outside of the
Yeah, so
circle?
the outskirts are catered towards the renegators, right?
Okay,
So
the
people
renegades. What are the
yeah, the
renegades?
renegators are just like they're just there. They're not like dedicated to a certain camp. They don't want to pay dues or anything. They're just kind of doing their own thing. A lot of people do that for the first time, and then you have like your designated camps. They've been doing it for like 20, 10, 15, whatever years, and they have like a thing that they provide for the playa, right? So they have like a massive stage. I'm staying at this camp called Ready Playa 1. They have this animatronic dragon that shoots out fire. It's sick. Super
Damn.
dope. So yeah, like the more veteran you are, the closer you kind of are to the main areas. And then the core, the centerpiece is where all the stages are, the art, the lights.
Mm.
It's insane.
Mm.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So, what about food? Like if you want to eat in there, obviously you mentioned pho, but can you actually go and get like a cheeseburger,
Bro, it's all
pizza?
free.
Is there like actually vendors out there
Yeah,
that will
yeah.
sell?
So you get a brochure, and it shows you the timing when everyone's serving their things, coconut water, wontons, you know, like pizza, like wood
And
fire
these are like
pizza.
working vendors that are like third party. They're coming in to
No,
serve
these
this
are
stuff?
just camps that are giving their gifts.
Really?
Yeah, so if you came with there with nothing, bro, like you can go to a shower at Dr. Bronner's and get hosed down, and they shampoo you up for free. Yeah, dude, it's insane. And then, you know, obviously there's the more like more interesting places like the Orgy Dome, and like the
The
more like
Orgy Dome.
the
What's
Orgy
the
Dome.
Orgy Dome?
The Orgy Dome is you know, a place. It's like
You got Oscar listening now.
yeah, Oscar's tapped in right now. He's like, oh shit, I've been there. Yeah, bro, it's really people that are more polyamorous, right? They're just could be married couples, and they're just more open to just experimenting with other individuals, you know. I personally haven't, you know, partaken, but I have some friends that have, and it's a really cool place because you like learn boundaries and stuff like that. And you know, I won't go into detail, but it's
Yeah.
there's something for everyone.
Yeah,
is
and
what
how
I'm
many
trying to say.
people would you say is in this Orgy Dome?
I
Like
have no idea,
when it's
dude.
busy,
I would say, I don't know, maybe
based on what
100,
your friend said.
maybe 100 people.
damn.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, and there's like, yeah, I was hearing like there's like people that are like moderating and making sure that people are respecting each other's boundaries and stuff like that. So that's just a cool representation of Burning Man, right? There's just like something for everybody, and there's no judgment, right? There's even naked people walking around. Freedom of expression. You know what I mean? So that's when I was like, damn, like, yeah, the whole nudist thing. I was like, cool, like this is kind of a
You're
challenge.
calling, yeah, you
Yeah,
like
but
that
really
vibe.
like seeing myself and mirroring and projecting like, oh man, am I judging this person for how they look? It's like, okay, why am I judging them, you know?
So, how do they ensure, like, if regarding food and water, it's just whatever people are bringing. How do they ensure there's enough food and water for
Yeah,
everyone
I
to get
mean,
through an entire week?
yeah, you just got to ration out, you know? To be honest, a
Like, if
lot.
you run out, can you be like, "Hey, I'm gonna leave and go to the grocery store, come back"?
No, 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 no,
You
no,
can't.
no,
You don't do
no,
that.
no deal. Yeah,
Okay.
it's too much time.
There's no third-party vendors that are doing
No
food and water
30-party
there.
vendors. Yeah,
Really?
it's self-reliance.
Damn.
Yeah, radical
So for the most people,
self-reliance.
for the most part, are people bringing their own food and water just to be safe?
Yes.
They
Yeah.
are.
Yeah, you're
Okay. So
stacking.
what are you bringing?
I'm
Protein
bringing, I'm
bars and that
bringing,
kind of
yeah.
stuff?
So my stack, so I'm a biohacker, right? So
Yeah.
like electrolytes with green tea extracts, True Wild, which is a really good stack for me. Obviously my microdose supplements, lion's mane cacao, psyllium hush, ACL pepsin, like my digestive enzymes, because I'm going all night, and then yeah, your steaks and like your fillets and coconut waters, just the average stack, super lean.
What what's the typical sleep schedule for someone going in there for an entire week? Like what time
Yeah.
are you going to bed and what time are you waking up?
Yeah, I mean, even a normal person, they're staying up and they're not even, they're sleeping during the day.
During the
A lot
daytime.
of people sleep during the day because there's like this, when
It's
the
too
sun,
hot.
yeah, and when the sun rises and you're still up, there's like this, I don't know, there's just like chemical reaction in your brain where it's just like such a magical moment when you're seeing the sunrise. So a lot of people are seeing the sunrise. So they'll go to bed at night when it's cool, and then you'll wake up in the morning and you're like, okay, cool, like I'm gonna go see this. I'm gonna go see like, Rufus the Soul sunrise set. You know what I mean?
Oh.
Yeah.
So you're saying the majority of people are sleeping during the day or sleeping at night?
They're sleeping at night, or no, sleeping at night and then waking up for the sunrise set,
Got it.
right?
Okay.
Yeah, because it's cool at night.
Got it.
Yeah, and then there's the other side of the people that sleep during the day, but it's difficult because it gets hot. You know what I'm saying? So if you
Yeah.
don't have an RV, you're gonna
Because I'm
struggle.
like, damn, that's got to be a rough hangover. Yeah, like 90 degrees,
Yeah,
100-degree heat.
yeah.
Trying to sleep out there.
But I mean, current rich summers, like you're sober rich, going in there with that natural energy, that
Yeah,
life force
be killing
energy.
it. Be killing
Yeah,
it. Yeah,
yeah,
be sharp as a be one of the sharpest dudes there.
100%.
Okay, and then tell me, like, we talked about food, we talked about drinks, we talked about the sleep schedule. What's like some of the coolest things you've seen in there?
Yeah. I mean, dude, like in this current time with Burning Man, the technology has allowed Burning Man to really like expand and really like
Give me an
go
example.
crazy.
Give me an
So
example of
so
that.
like every person at Burning Man has some type of LED fixture on their body, right? So there's 80,000 people, there's 80,000 light shows. So literally everyone is like laced up in like lights and LEDs and all these things. So all of at night, everything is illuminated, right? Versus like 10, 15 years ago, the technology, like the bikes were just normal bikes. Now everyone's got e-bikes and you're cruising for 20 plus miles, right? So the user experience is way better. And then yeah, man, you got all these rich guys that are just flexing their art cars, shooting flamethrowers, the animatronic dragons, Mayan warrior, and like crazy art installations. And these are all write-offs, right? From a tax perspective. So all these art installations, these are created through tax write-offs, right? So all these successful people and, not so successful, but they're just creative. This money that they're using, they just write it off to their camp, and they get write it off in their business. So from a tax write-off point, all these art installations, it's all free money to them. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
What year was Burning Man founded? Like, how did this thing evolve?
About 20 years ago, it started in San Francisco, and it was just a bunch of hippies just, chilling, taking psychedelics, and kind of rebelling a little bit, right, against the government, and just like wanting to be free and create something that wasn't about the money, right? And it still really isn't about the money. They don't have like vendors and stuff, but obviously they need to make a living. And yeah, they found the space in Black Rock where they created this relationship with the town. Because what they do there, it's kind of mayhem, right? People are like hanging off the stages, like 30 feet in the air, like monkey bar status, like doing flips and stuff, like absolutely crazy. This shit wouldn't fly in like a normal metropolitan area. You know what I'm saying? So the relationships that they have with Reno and Black Rock City, that's been built over 20 plus years, right? So they wouldn't be able to just go to like, Travis Chambers' place in Utah and be like, yo, we're gonna do Burning Man. They're like,
Outpost
no,
X.
yes,
Yes.
that's liability. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yep.
So yeah, it formed over time through relationships, the ethos of like their principles and all that. And then obviously, Black Rock City makes a decent amount of bread from the ticket sales.
Yeah, I can imagine. And then what happens like if because obviously we know at festivals, there's always a couple people that, they need to go to the hospital, right? They get dehydrated, they've been no sleep, intoxicated, and they're like, they need to go to the hospital. What happens in that case?
Burning
Is there
Man,
actually like nurses and doctors there?
bro, let me tell you this. Burning Man has the best healthcare in the
Really?
world.
Really?
I swear to God. They have the number one healthcare system, better than Denmark,
Really?
like
Tell me
Europe.
about the healthcare there,
Bro, it's
Burning Man.
crazy. Like, so a buddy of mine, he passed out and he felt like he passed out, dehydrated, and just like fell asleep in the middle of the Playa, like
That's the name
the
I was looking
Playa.
for. The
Sorry, yeah, the
Playa.
Playa.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's just like he was just out, and then there was a sandstorm, and he was inhaling dust, and then someone thankfully found him, took him to the tent, to the ER. He got free IVs for a whole day. They fed him food, and then they dropped him off back to the camp. Didn't have to pay for anything. So yeah, I'm not recommending you get into that situation, but maybe you can be like, I'm lightheaded, like I need an IV, that's
Yeah.
like $300, whatever.
Sure,
You're like get
sure.
a free IV.
Yeah.
It's the absolute best healthcare. Yeah, their safety protocols are absolutely insane. You know what I'm saying? Compared to like if you go to like a normal music festival, you gotta like they're gonna just send you to the hospital. But they like patch you up, you're ready to go, and then they send you back to your camp.
So what happens mentally, like mindset wise? Because you go to some of these smaller festivals, like Weekend Thing, Cross, for example. It's like your perspective doesn't really change, but people I talk to after coming back from Burning Man, they're like, bro, like my entire perspective has changed. So like, give me an example for you. Like first time you went to Burning Man, what changed for you mentally after that?
Yeah, bro, like the ethos, like just the culture, and just like you go to like a festival in the city limits, like not many people are like dressing to impress, right? They're wearing all black, kind of like what I'm wearing right now, but like just kind of simplified. I think the music festivals, like Burning Man, like Tomorrowland and stuff, people are there to like express themselves as freely as they can. So the colors, the variations of styles is absolutely insane, right? So I think the community and the culture and yeah, the connection, people are there to really, really heal. You know what I mean? Not to numb out, but to heal and connect with other humans. Because, we're in this loneliness epidemic right now, post COVID, right? So a lot of people are struggling.
People are lonely right now.
They're lonely right
Why
now.
do you think that is?
Post COVID, just the influx of, Uber Eats, like all these apps that are making you stay at home, and people forced to wear a mask, the government shutting you down, just cancel culture, all these movements and all these things, fake news is a big one. So I think a lot of people feel betrayed. I think the stats like 1 out of 3 Americans are feeling serious loneliness, like to a point where I think the U.S. Surgeon said that it's equivalent to like smoking 15 cigarettes a day on the level of how lonely people are and the damage it does to their bodies, right? Their psyche, right? So it's the connection of like, disease, right? This
But
disease.
it's all how you frame the perspective. Because as much as like there is that talk out there, I'm like, dude, this is the greatest time to
I
ever
know
in
this
history
fucking
of Earth
grind.
to be alive. I'm like, 4.8 billion people use social media, technology. You can learn anything on YouTube. Access to information has never been easier than it is today. We got the ability to listen to podcasts, and you can learn more listening to a podcast today than going to a 4-year university. And we got the greatest transfer of wealth in American history about to go down. 40 million retiring baby boomers. We got AI technology. There's a lot of opportunity out there. I know I get jacked up and excited just talking about it. And so it all depends on who you're talking to. But that's why I say the game is about being in the right rooms. But you talk to one person, you say, hey, like, this is the most depressing time to be alive. Like, everything's coming to an end. There's no opportunity. But then you go talk to someone else and like, dude, like, this is the best time to be alive. Like, opportunity everywhere I look. And so it all depends what room you're in.
Your environment.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, your environment's
Yes.
huge.
Yeah, it's everything. So you mentioned like why people go, but I'm curious, like when people walk away from Burning Man, like what's the mindset shift coming out of that? Like what for you, what was the shift?
Yeah, no, I mean, like when I first started to host my festivals, I was like, oh my God, like the correlation. I started to really understand like the impact that these events have, where you're in this like peak state, right? Whether you're on psychedelics or whatever it is, the energy, the collective energy, the vibration's so high from an energetic standpoint, right? Where people are just like, they're creating these relationships, right? And you're attracting all these high vibrational people, So I think, from my experience, I've seen a lot of people, someone came up to me at Burning Man, they're like, hey, Cho, thank you so much. I got married because I went to your festival on your property and I found the love of my life. So
Damn.
yeah, bro, like a lot of these events, a lot of really amazing relationships happen, right? Because people are open, they're vulnerable, and they're connecting,
Yeah, absolutely. That's cool, man. So so talk about, you hosting festival. How many festivals have you hosted now?
Yeah, we've done about 15 in the last 3 to 5 years.
Damn, you've hosted 15 festivals.
Yeah.
What is it like hosting a festival? Because there's a lot to think about, right? Because I know we host events all the time, and it's a lot of planning that goes into an event. A lot of time, a lot of, there's a lot of little things that people don't think about until you host an event like that. And so I know the cost and the time that goes into hosting an event, but a festival is a whole different ballgame. There's a lot more to juggle, I'm sure. So talk about what is it like hosting a festival?
Yeah. So a music festival is something where you got to be passionate. You got to prepare to lose money.
It's not a cash flow business.
Yeah, it's not a cash on cash thing like the way you do. You know what I mean? So there's no the appreciation is very sad. It's a lot of depreciation, but you got to build up to it. So one of the coolest festivals we've hosted, Love Machine is dope. Utopia, Love Machine, everything from security, ER, fire hazard, operations, staging, DJs, vendors, the whole nine. So a lot of it is like really like holding people accountable. Like, are you going to show up? You know what I mean? Negotiating, pricing, you know what I mean? Like, how much are you going to pay? Because every penny counts because you're expecting to lose money. So your goal is just to
minimize
the loss. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So how can you make money with the festival then?
You got to have
obviously like all these groups wouldn't continue to do it over and over unless they're like there's potential to make money, right?
100%. I mean, look, Rich, if you started the Somers Capital real estate, conference, event, festival, you have an edge, right? You have an audience, right? So if you want to start a festival, it's really hard if you don't have a community ahead of time. So if you want to start it raw, like for example, like Desert Hearts, they started their festival through community, and then from there built up to a massive festival. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Now, if you don't have the community to start, I mean, I'm just thinking what I would do. I would try to bring in all the big name artists that are going to attract a bunch of people. But then you got to probably come out of pocket to compensate the bigger name artists, right?
And then you got the radius clauses, right? So you got Cross, you got Insomniac, all these big players. They have a radius clause with all the best DJs.
So where you can't push those DJs.
Yes. So you gotta maybe go out to my desert because the radius clause might be outside of the right. So my place out in Hakumba could be a place where you circumvent the radius clause, right? So that's how a lot of the DJs that we had, like Who Made Who, Maceo Plex, Dixon, like Sergio Basket, like a lot of big DJs were able to come out because we were, I think, outside of the radius clause. Yeah.
How much I'm curious how much these DJs make, because like we had when we hosted our holiday party last year, you were there 2024 December at Andrew White's house in Carlsbad. Shout out to Andrew White, beautiful, gorgeous house. But we had the Yin Yang Twins come out and perform, and Sean Coughlin, did a lot of the back end planning for that. We hired him as like an event host, and he booked all the talent and all that. So Yin Yang Twins came in, but I remember talking with Sean, and I'm like, Sean, let's get Ja Rule in, and we wanted Ja Rule, but it just didn't quite work out. But I was seeing like the cost to bring in some of this, like, I think we could all agree Yin Yang Twins and Twister, Ja Rule, kind of like C-level talent these days, right? But 20 years ago, they were more prevalent. But it's like to bring in the C-level talent, I was kind of shocked by like how little these guys are like charging to come out and perform. I think the Yin Yang Twins, I don't remember exactly what we paid them, but I'm gonna say something around the realm of like 15K. But they're coming out, they're traveling, they're bringing. It's not just them; it's like their entire entourage. And then we put them up in a couple hotel rooms, so it was like 15K plus. We put them up in a couple rooms, but I'm thinking like that's not really a lot of money. Like you know what I mean? It's not. You think about traveling with your whole crew. You guys go out. I'm sure they go out to the clubs after that, spend a lot of money on drinks and like balling out. It's like you're not really netting that much after it's all said and done. So I'm like, I was kind of surprised.
Yeah, I think from what I understand with these, this is like millennial artists that we used to admire and praise in our high school, college years, even middle school. And the thing is, bro, is like it's just like entrepreneurship. If you're succeeding and you're starting to crush, and then you start to party and you spend all your money on nice things, and don't focus on the goal, then you start to deteriorate your brand. You don't create more hits and stuff like that. And also too, it's like distribution, right? How many followers do you have, right? So that you have these TikTokers that are TikTok famous. That's where everyone's looking. That's where the views are. And Ja Rule's got like 10,000 followers. He's not gonna charge a lot because he can't pull enough people to sell out an event. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
It's
So
funny because I did a podcast that night with the Ying Yang Twins, and I did ask him that very same question. Because yeah, I think they had like 40, 50K followers on Instagram, which in today's age as a musician, like that's not a whole lot. And so, yeah, I asked him, I'm like, do you guys think you would have made a lot more money had you like went all in on the personal brand and put out a lot more content and all that sort of thing? And these guys are not charismatic people. They're not like good on camera. They're not
yeah,
good talkers.
yeah,
They're kind of like, yeah, Oscar was there. He shot it. Not good talkers at all. Like not charismatic. And they even told me they're like their biggest regret was they didn't get any brand deals. They didn't get anything because they just weren't charismatic. They weren't that brand, the friendly, outgoing. Because it is a showmanship game, right? It's entertainment. But like, yes, you don't like Conor McGregor, for example, great at the showmanship. The guy loves the spotlight, knows how to take advantage of the spotlight when he's in it. And he's charismatic, and like even though he doesn't make all the right decisions off camera and on the streets, it's like people love watching Conor, and look what Conor's done versus all these other UFC athletes that have kind of come and like done big things in the game, but like they don't have the brand deals, they don't have all the limelight that Conor set up for life. He took advantage of the limelight. And the window is so small if you're a professional athlete or a musician, whatever it is that you're doing, you got to take advantage of it. Or maybe you're like just going on The Bachelor, like Chase and Nick, or some of these guys that go on these reality TV shows. It's like you're only on there for potentially a season. And you better take advantage of like that one season because that might be your only opportunity to like really capture it. Look at Jersey Shore. Some of those guys like Paulie D, they took advantage of it because they doubled down on the content game. And so same thing here with these guys. I noticed the Yin Yang Twins, they didn't take advantage of that. And now that's why they're like they're struggling to get $15,000 house shows
yeah,
and probably not making any money on that.
yeah. I think it's inertia.
It's
It's
inertia.
inertia. It's momentum.
Mm.
It's like how fast are you moving forward? You know what I mean? And then, are you leveraging that speed as much as you can versus like, oh, I got this hit, and then it's like, oh, I'm gonna party and celebrate, and then that your momentum goes down, right? And then you're like hungover all the time. You're not doing anything, right? So, more than anything, like when you started Rich, the Summers Report and everything, like
Mm.
momentum,
Yes.
right? Like consistency over time and just crushing it,
Hmm.
you know?
So anyways, the DJ thing, how much is it ballpark to book like, the different levels of talent within the DJ space?
Yeah, yeah. Like I said, it's visibility, it's attention. So, who made who versus like an up and coming local artist. difference in views, right? And so, Matt Gerald, he does the booking for like Park and stuff, and he'll book like some TikTok guys that have like 1 million followers. But like I was like, who the fuck is this guy? Like I never heard of him. But he's able to get more than like an actual DJ producer artist that has less followers because he has more visibility. You know what I mean? So ranging, I would say we were paying like anywhere from like $5 to like $25,000 for artists. But the reason why is because the relationships with artist managers.
Yeah, the relationships are
Yeah.
huge.
Yeah. So if you were just Joe Schmo trying to book, don't know anybody, you're paying double, triple, quadruple. Yeah, all about relationships,
Yeah,
because
no, that's everything. I mean,
Yeah.
like I'll give you an example, like Grant Cardone, friends with. I've done 3 episodes now with Grant, Sabrina, know her daughter now. But when Grant came on this podcast, and this is the second time I had an interview with him, the group across the street paid him $250,000 for Grant to come out and speak at their conference for an hour. And Grant came over afterwards and we did an entire podcast. He hung out in the office for 2 hours and he didn't charge a dime, right? So it's all, who knows you and relationships. And that's the game of business and real estate. It's relationships. Hey guys, if you're looking to get into real estate investing, but you're like, hey, I don't have the time, but you want to participate in the passive income, the tax benefits, and the wealth building, my company, Summers Capital, partners with limited partners, people like yourself, and we go out and buy boutique hotels. We have a fund where we currently own 5 hotels, and we currently have a wait list for investors to participate with us. If you want to learn more to see if this is a fit for you, you can go to summerscapital.com/invest to inquire and get on our wait list and be notified next time we have an opportunity. Again, summerscapital.com/invest. Now back to the show. So 5 to 25K. And then I imagine these big name, like A-list, DJs out there.
Yeah, like for instance, Chainsmokers,
Calvin Harris. Like, what are those guys?
Yeah, I booked them for this.
Stevie Aoki.
Yeah, I booked them for this conference, Roth Capital, and they were wanting.
That was the name of your
no.
conference?
This is a Roth Capital is like a billionaire boutique
Got it.
VC.
Yeah,
and they charged like almost $500,000.
Chainsmokers.
This was like 5 years ago.
Just to do a 1 hour set.
Damn. Right? And then versus a music festival, they would only charge like $250,000 or something because
more
they get
publicity,
more exposure,
eyeballs.
Kind of like the Super Bowl, right? Like Beyonce and stuff. They're not really getting paid, but they get hundreds of millions of views and exposure.
Okay,
indirectly.
So Chainsmokers, for example, they come to a private house party, it's gonna be $500K.
If they look at your wallet and they're like, all right, Rich, you got $1 billion. We're gonna take some of that.
Yeah. Now, like if Joe Rogan or LeBron James was like, hey, I'm gonna do this like private event, I'm gonna have a lot of big name people here, they probably go do it for maybe for a lot less than that.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean?
Because Joe, the
it's
relationships.
The
connections.
Relationship.
Sure.
And that's a perfect example of that. But that's crazy, dude. So like all these guys in Vegas that have these residencies at, the different hotels, the Wynn, MGM, Calvin Harris, Stevie Aoki, like all these guys that have these big they're residency DJs. What are those contracts like? You think?
Damn, those are just like, for instance, like Bruno Mars, for instance, like he lost like $50 million at the MGM gambling.
Just gambling.
Yeah. And so now he's like kind of in debt to them. You know what I mean? So like, he has leverage, though. He can bring in, tens of millions of dollars per show. And so now he's got to pay it off, but also get paid too. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of,
hold on. Bruno Mars has a residency with MGM.
I think so, yeah.
And he performs there not because he
wants to.
Not because they signed him, but because he has a big debt.
50 million, yeah.
Damn.
He built up a fat debt. He got a gambling problem, bro, like Michael Jordan.
That's crazy. I didn't know that.
Yes.
Bruno Mars. I'm going to look that up.
Yeah. I mean, like, remember like Elvis, for instance, Elvis Presley, same thing. He had a gambling problem, put himself into a lot of debt, and then had to perform at the casino because he had to pay them back. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot I feel like with Vegas, it's just like there's a lot of dark side to Vegas. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas for a reason. And like a lot of the performances, there's always something in the back end, right?
Yeah, absolutely. That's crazy, dude. Bruno Mars. I didn't know that. And then, I noticed these residency DJs. I'll notice like, cause they're typically performing Friday, Saturday night, every weekend out in Vegas, maybe sometimes Sunday day party if there's like a pool party. And that's like part of the deliverables, I'm sure. But sometimes I'll see them double up. And so they might come out and perform a show at Cross on a Saturday night, and then they're on a flight back to Vegas right after their 10 o'clock set, and they're coming on stage at, 1 in the morning in Vegas to close it out. So you see some of that, but that's cool, man. It's a different lifestyle. And, I imagine so I know some of those DJs are, I'm sure, sober. But I imagine it's probably easy to really fall down that and go down that rabbit hole, performing at 1 o'clock in the morning,
Oh,
Friday, Saturday
100%,
night,
bro.
all these fans, all this like
Screaming.
temptations,
Yeah.
everyone's like in there intoxicated on something. And I'm sure it's very, very easy to kind of like go down that rabbit hole and start to kind of lose it a little bit, because that's a lot of like late night. It's an environment. There's a lot of temptation.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I've definitely been there in my nightlife days in my 20s. It was like, I was doing like 150 girl Vegas trips, and just like I would walk into the club. It was me and like 3 chaperones, 3
Yeah.
dudes, and then 150 girls from SDSU. And it was just like, oh, look at this. I'm like, I feel like the king, because the currency is like atmosphere girls in Vegas or anywhere, any club, or money, right? So if you have money, you can buy tables. If you have girls, you have like authority in the club, because everyone wants to see beautiful women.
Totally.
You know what I'm saying? So that was a big struggle, because it was like I was like living this limelight, but I was like getting intoxicated, and like it was hard to be disciplined in that environment.
Yeah,
You know what I
no,
mean?
absolutely. It's a certain environment for sure. Okay, so I want to switch gears here. You put a couple videos on your Instagram that gotten 500,000 views each. And you're talking about how festival season's over, and you got to do a cleanse. Okay, talking about the anima parasite cleanse. What the heck is the anima parasite cleanse, dude? What is that? I see some crazy things in these videos, but
Yeah,
tell me
bro.
what it's all about,
It's
man.
crazy, dude. It's it's funny how like those the videos that went viral for me, but the enema is, you essentially self-inject coffee coffee beans and water into a bag, and then it uses gravity to shoot into your body, through your booty hole. You know what I mean? So yeah, so for me,
Coffee and what?
it's just coffee and water. Yeah, you boil the coffee and you put it in the bag.
Uh-huh.
And then yeah, bro, everyone's got parasites, right?
What is a parasite?
Parasites are living things in your body, so they feed off of like heavy metals, microplastics, anything that's bad. A parasite feeds off of. It's kind of like a little worm structure, So it's one of those things, bro, is that everyone has them, but everyone's just in denial of like how bad it is.
Does it come out naturally when you use the restroom and all that?
Yeah. So you use black wormwood oil, water, electrolytes and biotoxin binders to really flush it out.
And that you take orally, or
Yeah,
you're putting it in the
you
bag?
take orally. Yeah.
Okay. So
yeah.
so the anime parasite cleanser.
Enema.
Your
Yeah.
enema.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm saying it wrong. So it's the enema.
Enema.
Enema
Yeah.
parasite cleanser. So you're putting hot coffee,
Yeah.
hot water into
And
a
then
bag.
and then it goes into your
What's is there like a hose, or what is that?
yeah, hose that gravity pulls it and then it shoots up. It was really difficult to do in the beginning, because you're like in your brain, you're like, I don't want to shove things in my butt. Like, what is this? This is kind of like this is no homo. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like I'm like feeling weird,
Is it painful?
But no, it's not. And once you see what comes out, you're like, holy shit, like what was in my body? You know what I mean? You kind of get addicted to it. You're like, damn, I want to get more out. You know what I mean? So when you're killing the
Now,
parasite,
let me ask you this. What's the difference between that and just like waiting till you have to use the toilet?
you're pulling more. So when you're ingesting biotoxin binders like charcoal, psyllium husk, bentonite clay, and the herbs to kill the parasites, it pulls all the things from the inner lining of your gut and your colon, and then that's when you shoot the water, and then you pull it out by force. You know what I mean? So like when you go, like we have so much buildup of shit in our body, like fecal matter is just built up, like it's stuck in there, mixed with the microplastics, the heavy metals, just all the pesticides and GMO shit that we eat is just stuck in our colon. So when you take these herbs and then you do the cleanse, you're able to pull all that out by force. Yeah, it's super
Damn.
powerful.
And how do you feel afterwards? Do you feel like lighter?
Bro, I did one this morning. I feel,
You did one this morning?
yeah,
How often do you do it?
3 week,
3 a week?
3 week. Yeah.
Damn. Okay, so what does it feel like after?
Dude, you feel electric, bro. It's like you drank a whole cup of coffee without the side effects,
Really?
right?
Damn.
Yeah. So the coffee the nutrients and everything absorbs into your blood, into your liver, detoxes your liver, your kidneys, and everything, and then you get all that energizing effect as well. You know what I mean? So, game changer.
I've never heard of it before until you
Yeah,
started putting out content on it. And
yeah.
I got to be honest, even the girls on my team, they heard you come on the podcast. They're like, you got to ask Keicho all about that
The
cleanser,
enema, yeah,
the enema,
yeah. No,
the
it's
enema game. Is that thing? We got to nickname that
the
thing.
enema
You
game,
got a
yeah.
nickname for it?
Uh, Keisha's enema swag. I don't
The
know.
enema
It's
swag,
it's not that
bro. You
sexy.
should
So
create your own and then like sell it.
yeah, no, 100%. I thought about it. I
The
thought
the
about it.
the Keicho cleanser.
Yeah, I'm gonna stick to microdosing first.
Okay, okay.
Yeah,
So speaking of microdosing,
yeah,
tell me about all the benefits of microdosing.
yeah, yeah. So I have a psychedelic education awareness business around microdosing. So yeah, increases neuroplasticity, right? So if you look at a depressed person, someone that's depressed or has Alzheimer's, their brain in an MRI scan is going to be very stagnant. So the neurons are not firing. They're just stagnant. So when you eat mushrooms, when you do an ice bath, you get more neuroplasticity. It fires and wires the neurons. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of the people that consume microdosing, they see massive benefits and they're able to get off of big pharma drugs, SSRIs, Adderall, Xanax, and all these different things, and overcome, Alzheimer's, dementia, anxiety, depression. So a lot of the people that I help out, they are entrepreneurs or, normal people that just they're depressed. This is the loneliness epidemic, right? A lot of people are lacking in neuroplasticity. So their brain movement is very stagnant. You know what I'm saying?
Totally.
Yeah.
And so, in regards to microdosing, obviously we know there's a macro as in a micro.
Yeah.
What's the typical like cutoff between where a microdose becomes a macro? And can
Yeah.
you describe what each of them mean?
Yeah. So microdosing is the subperceptual doses of mushrooms or LSD or any type of psychedelic. Most commonly known as microdosing psilocybin because it's not as heavy on the body. It's natural. It's organic. And that ranges from like 0.05 to like, 0.2, 0.25 of a gram. And yeah, you're able to get all the medicinal benefits without getting the crash or without like seeing shit, right? Depending on your tolerance. And then the macro dose is like, I would say like a gram to 2 grams or more, up to 7 grams,
Yeah.
depending on your
Yeah, I mean, I got to be
tolerance.
honest. Like, I'm a fan of microdosing. I haven't done it in quite some time, but for me, if I go out and enjoy some drinks, I actually enjoy to like have a little microdose with it. Kind of takes the edge off a little bit. You feel a little bit loose. You don't feel inclined to have drink after drink after drink. You can just sip on a couple drinks throughout the night, do a little microdose. It's a good blend of like energy, but like still comfortable and it does change your perspective a little bit, which is cool, but you can still have conversations. You can still, operate and function just as if you were sober. And so I'm a fan of it for sure. I do know several folks and some of these folks as well here locally in San Diego that I'm not going to say names or anything like that, but have, microdosing chocolate companies that are very good. And, one of them off the top, it's got like, 3 of the best strains from South, Africa that have been perfected over the last 15, 16 years, a lot of B vitamins and tastes very good as well. So I definitely will say that, I'm a fan of microdosing. I haven't done it in a while, but I am a fan of it and I know all the benefits of it. I mean, I've experienced it,
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. And it's huge, man. It's transformational for me. I've done about 10 macrodosing ceremonies with a
Okay.
shaman.
So explain what that is. When
Yeah,
you say
yeah.
a
So
macrodosing ceremony, what is
yeah,
that?
yeah, yeah. So kind of something I remember you talking to Travis about like sound healing and all this stuff.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
a combination of like you have a sound healer there, a shaman, and it's all about set and setting with the macrodose, right? So your environment is everything, right? How you perceive things is going to be based off of what you're listening to and what you're seeing, right? So you have a shaman there. Usually I'll have someone with gongs, sound healing bowls, drums, a vocalist like singing songs. And then yeah, essentially there's 4 stages for me. There's pain and suffering, forgiveness, gratitude, and manifestation. And you go through these stages, right, of healing, and you kind of have to let go and embrace these stages. You know what I mean? So I've had insanely like transformational experiences through the ceremonies versus going to a nightclub or a festival, eat 2 grams, you're like, oh my God, like Rufus is soul, but you're not really like healing.
Yeah.
You're just like,
It's an
it's
overwhelming
just
type of thing.
dopamine
Yeah.
just firing, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Yeah.
Totally, totally. A lot of takeaways, perspective change, I'm sure. I mean, I know folks that are like in business and real estate, and like every 3 to
Like
6 months,
ayahuasca.
they'll do that. They'll
Yeah.
just like lock themselves in a room for an entire day and just like have a really deep macro dose. And they just like they say like a lot of the benefits that come out of it, like they want to spend more time with their parents and their family, their loved ones. And they have a clear like vision in terms of like what path they're going to go down with their business or whatever they're doing. So I definitely I know of people doing it, and that's interesting thing. I've never heard of the macrodosing ceremony, but that's a good word for it.
Yeah.
I like that, man.
Yeah. It's great.
Yeah, yeah.
It's magical.
So okay, man. I want to talk about the nudist colony. You bought a freaking nudist colony out here in Southern California. Talk about this nudist colony. Where did you find it?
Yeah. Yeah. Honestly, like I didn't go searching for nudist colony, right? I don't think anyone does. You know what I mean? Because of the baggage that it kind of comes with, you know. But yeah, bro, I was hanging out with my buddy. This was like I was just about to turn 30, and I was trying to figure out like what did I wanted to do for the rest of my life. I was like, okay, what's my purpose, you know? And then my boy's just like, hey, Kcho, we found this nudist colony for sale, off market deal, seller financed, and you know, I was like, I don't know, man. That's not my vibe, really. I'm not a nudist, you know? And he's like, bro, we can throw the next Burning Man here, you know? And so I went there. Everyone, it was like 100 old naked people with masks on. And I was like, what? Like, this is the craziest thing I've ever experienced. Like, all these naked people with masks on. And I'm like, they're probably like their genitals are out and stuff. And I was like, if there's a project that is crazy enough for me, this is it. And so I'm like, okay, cool. I'm going to commit myself because the land in itself is so magical, you know? So went into escrow, closed on it within a month. And then, yeah, became an owner of a nudist colony. And then,
Damn.
yeah, we just started to throw music festivals, host retreats, men's groups. And over the last many years, we've kind of experienced like the benefits that people are having.
Mm.
Just like seeing people like have these transformational experiences, even with the nudist there, you know? So we're no longer nudist. We ended it about 2 years ago.
What was
And
that conversation like?
it was tough, man.
Yeah.
Like, you know, my partner, Luke. Luke is,
Luke's a G. We
yeah,
love Luke.
yeah.
Shout out to Luke.
Luke Wazlu. He's kind of like he's Polish, you know, so he's very demanding and he steps into his power and, he kind of,
He was the one that dropped
yeah,
the
he
news?
dropped it like it was hot.
Oh, big
Yeah.
Luke.
And,
What how did they take it?
and they were not happy.
Damn.
Yeah.
How did he frame? Because a lot of everything is how we frame it.
Yeah.
How did
Yeah.
he frame it?
Of course. You know, he framed it like a professional, you know, it's like, yo, we tried to become the best nudist colony in the country for a couple years. We put all our money back into the space because the previous owner didn't really reinvest and it was just like a residential space. And essentially, you know, we made the attempt, but you know, with the demographics, the median age was 65 or older. So you have these old baby boomers that are like not accepting change. And then I'm throwing music festivals and shit, and they're like, "Yo, turn it down, man.
Oh, it wasn't
It's
aligned.
getting too
Yeah.
loud in here." You know what I mean?
Damn.
So we had some lawsuits where it was like, "Hey, like, loss of hearing was one of those
Really?
suits," and I'm like, "Loss
Damn.
of hearing?" Like, it was just like really just surface level stuff to like try to like antagonize us and like make us go bankrupt essentially. But time passed, and then yeah, they kind of just realized like, hey, like there's a new generation of people that need this place. You know, Gen Z, millennials, you're seeing a massive influx of people that are going glamping, they're going into nature, right? The you know, digital nomads, right? I think there's like a 43% increase in digital nomad like through Gen Zers and millennials in the US alone, right? So you're seeing a lot of people becoming remote workers, right? Like especially with AI, you know, you're gonna have like probably like 70, 80% of the workforce doing remote work. You know what I mean? Because with the technology. So for me, I was like, okay, cool. Like this is a gap in the market and this is a upward trend. You know, I think the glamping industry is like 3 billion and it's gonna go to like 6 billion in like 5 years. So it's gonna double. Same with the microdosing or psychedelic industry, 3 to 6. And so yeah, essentially I was like, man, this is so synergistic with the microdosing, the glamping industry, the space, hosting festivals, retreats, infusing all that together and helping people overcome their mental health, you know?
Mm. So today, the nudist portion of it is no
It's
longer
no
intact.
longer. And
And where'd those folks all go?
they either this is gonna sound kind of harsh, but like old age comes with, death. So a lot of people are like passing away
Mm.
just from old age
On the property?
on the property, like 70,
Really?
80s. Yeah, like a
Damn.
lot of people have passed. A lot of people have passed in this
That's heavy.
space. It's heavy, bro. Yeah, but it just goes to show, like you said, biggest transfer of wealth right now. The demographic is aging out. So for me, I'm like, okay, cool. This is my opportunity to really utilize a space
Reposition
that's
it.
reposition it, and that's super valuable. That has that boutique glamping hotel opportunity, right? Because we have 10 motel rooms, we have 311 RV lots, all connected to water, septic, and electricity. A hot springs right next door. And then just to give you a brief history, in the 1920s,
Yeah, I was gonna ask you that. What is the history of this property?
yeah, so Hukumba Hot Springs was like bootlegger capital, right? During Prohibition, about 100 years ago, right? So there was this railroad called the Impossible Railroad, where people would, they would have commerce. They would smuggle in alcohol from like Mexico, and all the celebrities, all the who's would come to Hukumba to drink and, party and rebel against the government. And 100 years, fast forward 100 years later, I buy the place with my partner, 2020, during COVID, during a different type of prohibition, social prohibition, right? So I was like, damn, dude, there's like this, I feel like there's like this high power where it's like, Keicho, like you're destined to get this nudist colony to share it with the rest of the world and to the masses, through festivals, through retreats, through glamping, just through overall experiences.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's powerful, man. So, you mentioned, and I've talked with you and Luke about this, and so I know a decent amount about how you guys run the business, and the RV park is like the most profitable arm. What is the vision? You got the 10-room motel. What is the vision that you and Luke have for this property moving forward?
Yeah. Yeah. Me and Luke, we're pretty good yin and yang. Luke's like, all right, like, how do we make the cap rate better? I'm like, how do we, get more younger people there, essentially? So yeah, so it's like, I think it's a split up between 3 ways, right? There's long-term residents, right? People that live there on like a year lease. They pay us like $600 to $800 a month. They kind of cover the capital expenses, right? And then there's short-term renters, the vacationers, staycationers. They come in, they rent out a motel room, they bring their RV. The RVs are the most profitable because it's low upkeep. They just plug in, dump their shit, fill up their water, stay at night. They spend like 60 to 80 bucks. Very low overhead for us, because it's all free. And then the third is events, right? So festivals, retreats, and then bar and restaurant. We have a liquor license, entertainment license.
Damn.
So we're fully we're loaded for the apocalypse. You know what I'm saying?
Damn.
So we got solar as well. So if this world comes to World War III, you're more than welcome to join us.
Dude, I'd love to go out there and thank you. I'd love to go out there and shoot like a YouTube video and like get a full tour of this facility firsthand. And when I said RV park was the most profitable arm, I meant the long-term tenants and the what do you call it?
There's short term, the
Yeah.
vacationers. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
No, but the ones that are living there long term.
yeah. Long term.
They're in not the RV park, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Are
I
they?
mean, it's all the RV park, right? It's 311 RV lots, and then there's one section where the long-term residents are living in.
Got it. But
And
they're living in their RVs.
Yes.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's all DMV registered units.
Yeah.
So the beauty of it is like there's no HOA. They can't create a whole mutiny against us.
What do you charge for rent there for those folks? Ballpark.
A ballpark, I would say like $500 to $800 depending on
Damn.
size and like accommodation.
And how many of them are there that live in long term?
We have about 120.
Damn.
Yeah. So we do pretty well with the rental income. And then everything else comes from like short-term vacation rentals, day passes, and then random people just passing by.
Yeah. How much did you guys buy the property for?
4.5 million.
And you got some seller financing?
Yeah, 3.5% interest, seller finance.
Damn.
Yeah.
How much of the 4.5 did the seller finance?
About, I'm gonna say like 3 million. Yeah, so we got a good deal. It was the peak of COVID. So the previous owner was stressing out. He was like, dude, like, am I gonna be able to like sell this place? The place was like falling apart because there was no management. The employees were all like 60 years old. So you had a bunch of baby boomers managing baby boomers, you know? So
That property has a lot of upside. I
upside
mean,
for sure.
just doing the math off of the RV, the money you guys are bringing in a rent, if you guys can, double down on that,
Yeah,
and then, enhance all the other stuff, the glamping, the boutique hotel stuff. I mean, just doing the simple math,
yeah,
NOI divided by cap rate equals value, and at a very conservative cap rate, I think it potentially be worth 15-20 million dollars
exactly.
in the next 18 months if you guys do it the right
Yeah,
way.
yeah. And
So
we're raising
something really
money.
big.
Yeah, we're raising money right now. So the goal is to raise $2 to $3 million so we can build out the whole glamping experience. You know what I mean? So, and I'm also talking to Travis Chambers as well.
Let's
Bring out Outpost
go.
X out there.
Let's
You know
go.
what I
We're bringing
mean?
Travis on the boutique hotel investing mastermind call here soon.
Oh, let's
But I
go.
love Travis. Outpost X, he did an amazing
Yeah,
job with that. I was just actually talking to him a couple weeks ago, catching up a little bit. But he refied Outpost X, and the valuation came in much higher than he even anticipated,
huge.
and that
Yeah,
was good.
it's all about revenue, right? Yeah, it's all about profit. So, yeah, the goal is to kind of create that whole like Joshua Tree Burning Man experience. The Joshua Tree aspect is the glamping, prefabricated homes, the geodomes, and then the Burning Man experience is like having artists there, kind of an artist residency program
Yes.
where people can, use upcycle materials and create art in the space because I have utility, I have power for tools and all that stuff. So the goal is to create kind of like a year-round Burning Man experience where people can go there, almost like a Disneyland for adults. You know what I'm saying? Where you're like, damn, that art thing is sick over there. Was that a dragon? Like, what is that? You know what I mean?
I love it. Kecho, I appreciate you coming on, man, dropping so much game, so much knowledge. This was definitely a unique conversation. Where can the folks get in touch with you? They want to learn more about everything that you're doing, man.
Yeah, my Instagram's Conscious Kcho. So Conscious Kecho. And then you can email me, kchosd@gmail.com if you have any questions or need information about my businesses. But yeah, man, I'm stoked, bro.
And listeners, definitely go shoot Kecho a follow, man. A lot of good content there. Kevin, I appreciate you coming on. Kevin Cho, I'm Rich Summers. Listeners, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.